Yes, we're taking a minute, make that several minutes, to tackle time and the nature of time. Andrada, you're a tech journalist. There's this idea that tech is speeding up time. But is that only our perception of time, or is there any science behind it?
Well, in the long term, the answer is no. At the moment, the planet is slowing down a bit. So you see, the Earth's rotation is not perfect. So days are not equal. They're not exactly 24 hours long. Their length might vary by a millisecond or a millisecond and a half. And we've known that for a few decades now. And there are several theories that try to explain why the Earth's rotation varies. These include factors like the molten core, the oceans, and it was suggested that the ice caps on the tallest mountains are melting, and then they are freezing, which might affect rotation slightly. And over the course of a year, we can have small delays of, say, a few dozen milliseconds. And in recent years, we saw quite a few shorter days. But that should be temporary. Overall, the planet's rotation is going to slow down slightly. And on average, days should become 2 milliseconds longer each century.
I mean, what's 2 milliseconds between friends, right? But I can imagine that on the one hand, you've got people who want the day to kind of fit in with the Earth's rotation. But then, in the past few decades, we've also got satellites and other technology that depends on knowing exactly what time it is. And so it's probably important that we get it right. How can we make sure that we're being accurate with what the time is?
Well, that's an ongoing debate. And one idea was to introduce the so-called leap seconds. So just like we have leap years, we have leap seconds. And so far, this extra second has been added 27 times. And at first, it worked back in the early 70s when it was invented. But now we have so many devices that are in sync, and they completely change the time equation.
So, wait, the more computers that need to be recalculated whenever you change the time, you add in a leap second, the more of a headache that all of this is.
Yeah, and computers don't really understand how time passes, and those leap seconds can affect them. So Australian Airlines were forced to cancel 400 flights.
Oh, wow. So serious real-world consequences to adding a tiny little leap second.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why tech companies in particular, but companies in general, they wanted it to drop the idea of introducing leap seconds. Because they said that sometimes correcting the error is worse than the error itself.
I can see that. I mean, what's a few milliseconds versus 400 flights being cancelled at the last minute? So what's going to happen to the leap second?
We're going to lose it, and lose it as of 2035. So we just do what we do best. We push this problem for the next generation.
I don't know what you mean.
So people living in the future will decide whether they want to use leap seconds or not.
Thank you, Andrada. Fascinating stuff. Well, one example there of planning ahead that didn't go so well. On now to another case of planning ahead, this time for a future so far away that civilization as we know it might be long gone. It's time for this week's Fact File with producers Lucy and Alex.
Hey Alex, check it out. I found a box of old BBC scripts and tapes in a cupboard downstairs. It's like a time capsule. Stephen Hawking at 50, wow.
Oh, were you reporting? Let's play it.
Unfortunately, I think that tape might as well have disappeared into a black hole because I'm not sure we're able to play it now. It's a 1/4-inch tape and I don't think there are any machines in this shiny new digital future in which we now live.
Yeah, you see, that's a classic problem for time capsule builders.
What do you mean?
Well, for much of the last century, people all over the world have been burying things in sealed containers for future generations to discover and somehow learn something interesting. People have buried CD-ROMs, newsreels from the 20th century, vinyl records. But as technology gets more complicated and sophisticated, it becomes less and less likely that whoever finds the capsule will be able to read it or interpret it or even power it. Also, people just forget where they buried the things. In 2017, builders converting the London Millennium Dome accidentally dug up a BBC time capsule that had been buried there just as recently as the year 2000.
The builders should have kept quiet and sold it.
Well, you say that. In the 19th century, there was quite a trade in digging up these precious relics that were being buried. And it's feared that that is exactly what happened to one buried in a ceremony in 1891 under a huge iron tower in Blackpool in the north of England.
Oh, what did it contain?
Well, it was a wax cylinder audio recording of the opening ceremony of the tower. You think you've got problems playing your old tapes. Imagine if they were on 19th century wax phonographs.
I take your point. But I'm still going to steal these from my spare room museum.
Producers Lucy and Alex there. Now, we might have more on time capsules later on, but for now we're out of time because, according to my schedule, let me just get out my phone calendar, my diary and my file of facts and see what we're doing. Ah yes, Morale, you wanted to talk about planning your time, or rather, what's going on in the minds of some people who map out their plans in an unusual way.
Yeah, that's right, Marnie. I've been looking at a form of synesthesia that's all to do with visualizing dates and events in time.
Okay, so synesthesia is something that I know about, something where people hear music and they attach colours to it, or the days of the week have colours or tastes to them.
Exactly. There's, of course, a lot of different kinds. And synesthesia is essentially a condition caused by an unusually high number of connections between two areas of the brain. So the senses become merged. And the one I'm interested in is time-space synesthesia, which is the connection between a person's spatial awareness and their perception of time.
So, how does that work?
So an example of that is when, for some people, adding something to their diary, they see a visual representation of that event being blocked out in their mind. And it varies from person to person, but in research done by Edinburgh University, Holly Brannigan, who is a psychologist there with time-space synesthesia, described seeing a running track with a calendar on the track, and if she was to imagine running on the track, she would run past all the events added to her diary for each month.
I love it. So it's kind of like you can scroll through your phone's diary, but in a kind of really 3D way that you're inside it.
Yeah, and it's living inside your mind too, right? But it's different depending on the person. So Emma Yeomans, who is a journalist in the UK, said that in her mind, she sees boxes that represent days, weeks, months, or even years. And she is always standing on the present day with the boxes curving around her, which is also a sort of track. And the boxes for the dates closer to the present time get bigger.
That makes me feel like it's like a game of chess, but you're inside it. So if events are added to the boxes and those boxes are getting bigger, it sounds like it could be kind of handy because you're not going to miss a meeting. If there's a huge box in front of you, that's telling you, pay attention to the box, right?
Yeah, and for Emma, she said that her day will be blocked out as she makes plans. So unless she's being unusually forgetful, she won't double book herself because it's hard to do that when you can literally see your diary.
Does it also work historically?
Well, that's a good question. And for some people, they can tell you exactly where they were, what they were doing on a particular day of a particular year. And in one study, people were given 9 years from within their lifetime. And for each year, they were asked to list the things that they remembered from that year. And across all 9 years, people without time-space synesthesia recalled about 39 facts from their year. Whereas the average synesthete doubled that, with one of the synesthetes recalling 123 different facts within that time period.
May I ask, how common is this?
So that's a good question. There are 54 different types of synesthesia, and estimates vary from 2% of the population to 20%. With time-space synesthesia and other forms of sequence-based synesthesia, it can affect as much as 10 to 15% of the population.
Wow, that's so interesting. Some Unexpected Elements listeners definitely experience this. If so, if it's you, what is it like for you? We'd love to hear from you. Do you get a running track? Do you get a chessboard? How do you plan? Answers to unexpected@bbc.co.uk, or you can WhatsApp us on +44 330 678 3080, or you can write to us. Love a postcard, Unexpected Elements, BBC World Service, Cardiff, CF10 4GA UK. Coming up next in Unexpected Elements, we're venturing into the ocean to hear about a fascinating worm you could set your watch by. After this.
Hello, it's Quizman Dan here with another fiendish Unexpected Elements quiz question to put you to the test with. While we don't have any prizes if you manage to get it right, you can win a lifetime of impressing your friends and family with your newfound scientific knowledge. This week we're taking a deep dive into the ocean to look at the anatomy of an octopus. The sea creatures are well known for having 8 tentacles and no bones, but what we want to know is, what does an octopus have more of? A. Brains, B. Stomachs, or C. Hearts? So that's, which of these organs does an octopus have more of? A. Brains, B. Stomachs, or C. Hearts? If you're not sure, don't worry, there's plenty of time to mull it over, and a little later in the programme we'll be back with the answer to reveal all.
You're listening to Unexpected Elements from the BBC World Service. I'm Marnie Chesterton. With me are Miral Jamal and Andrada Fiskutian. Between the three of us, we're speeding through stories on time, and no time like the present for a recap.
We've been hearing why scientists and engineers have been calling for a timeout from the potential havoc of the leap second.
And how, for some people, when their diary fills up, their mental calendar fills up, with big visual blocks showing when they're busy appearing where free time once stretched out in their mind's eye.
Next up, nature's own clock watchers. We're going to wade into the world of Professor Anja Schulze, assistant head of marine biology at Texas A&M University in the US, who spent time in the South Pacific studying a very special worm called the pololo. Anja, welcome to Unexpected Elements.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Help me picture this worm. What does it look like? Where does it live?
So these worms are very long and thin. They have hundreds of segments, so they can be up to maybe 30 centimeters in length, but they're basically like a string of spaghetti. And they mostly live in the ocean, all over the tropics. And mostly they live in pieces of coral all their lives, and you would never see them until they become reproductive.
Yes, because they have a very distinctive way of spawning, don't they?
Exactly. So when they become sexually mature, they will concentrate their gametes in the tail end of their body. So eggs or sperm, so they have separate sexes. And then eventually the tail end of the body will just break off, and it will leave the habitat on the bottom and swim to the surface on its own. And then it swims in this spiral motion, and they all do that at the same time. And they swim around for a while, maybe up to half an hour, not much longer than that. And then they basically disintegrate, and their body bursts, and they release all these eggs and sperm into the water. So there's millions and millions, probably billions of eggs and sperm in the water.
They essentially detach their private parts to swim to the surface and go and do the fertilization separate from the rest of the animal.
Exactly. And so then the eggs are fertilized in the water. And when you look at these swarming stages, these hind ends, there's some musculature because they need some muscle to generate that swirling movement. But otherwise, they're just full of gametes.
Where does the time element come into all of this?
Yeah, so they are very highly synchronized in doing that, and they're doing it all at the same time, and so the entire surface of the water is full of millions and millions of these swarming epitopes at that time. We know it's correlated with the lunar cycle, so it usually happens a few days after the full moon. And lunar cycle obviously also influences the tide, so the tide might be more important than the moonlight, actually.
So if you live round there, is that something that you can see? Is it obvious when this is happening?
Yes, it's very obvious. I mean, it usually happens during the nighttime, so if you're out there during the nighttime, it is very obvious. And in many locations where this happens throughout the Indo-Pacific, the people are very connected to that. And they know exactly when this is going to happen. And it's culturally very important. So in many different places, people will have festivals that revolve around this Palolo swarming. In many places like Vanuatu, they actually base their traditional calendar on the swarming of the Palolo. And then, they have these festivals where people get together. They go out onto these reefs, which are usually these just shallow water areas, and they bring flashlights because these epitopes, this is also quite interesting, they actually have light receptors. So on each of their hundreds of segments on their body, they have a little eye, and they're attracted to light. So when you shine your flashlight in the water, they're attracted to that. And then they capture the worms with nets. And they usually have some sort of basket that they dump the catch into, and then they eat them. So it's considered a delicacy.
Anya, I'm curious if you've eaten them and what they taste like, if you have.
Yes, I have. So a few years ago, I had an opportunity to organize an expedition to the island of Timor, and the festival took place in a really small, remote village that is not easy to get to. And so the day it happened, this tiny little village of a couple of hundred people was suddenly invaded by people from all over the regions. And then just before the sun went down, there was some sort of dance and a traditional song that they sang. And after that was over, everybody went to the beach and started collecting them and eating them. And then we tried them raw. So we slurped them up like spaghetti, maybe a little overcooked spaghetti. They're obviously salty and a little mushy, but the taste was good. I liked them.
And you don't sound entirely convinced.
Well, it's definitely tasty, like a kind of a little mushy seafood.
Okay. They've been called the caviar of the South Pacific, right?
Yeah, and I think that's probably a pretty good description of it.
But clearly, the whole festival means that these worms are an important part of the community's calendar.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a way for people to meet each other. It was definitely also, it had this flirtatious atmosphere. So there were groups of teenage girls and boys, and definitely some flirting going on. So I think it has a lot to do with fertility of the ocean, but also a way for men and women to meet each other.
All right. The worms do it, therefore we do it. Anya Schultz, thank you so much for sharing those insights on the Palolo worm.
Yeah, I love talking about Palolo worms. Thank you.
So, Andrada, Morale, caviar of the South Pacific or slightly mushy overcooked spaghetti? Andrada, fancy a plate of that?
Not really. I'm not into mushy stuff. But if you insist, I could take a bite.
Fair enough. Morale?
I would try it. Will I enjoy it? Probably, because it's a festival.
Right.
So.
That's a good attitude. So, we began with leap seconds designed to help synchronize our time units to the natural world, but adding extra seconds to all the automated tech in the modern world seems more hassle than it's worth. Morale then gave us an insight into what it can be like for people with time-space synesthesia who can see time and the things that they do with that time stretching out around them. And we ended up in the world of the Pololo worm that breathes by the rhythms of one of the oldest clocks we have, the lunar cycle. Still to come on Unexpected Elements. What to do when your 1970s time capsule is 15 billion miles away and needs a bit of maintenance. We look at how science fiction might help shape our attitudes to AI legislation. Plus, how and why would you write inside a diamond? That plus other unexpected elements coming up shortly.
This is the BBC World Service, talking with people born from egg and sperm donations.
I'm Louise McLaughlin. I'm just one of hundreds of thousands of donor-conceived people all across the world.
I think his exact words were, "Our father is not our real father."
You can't overestimate the impact that being told you're not who you think you are has on your life.
I looked at myself, but I didn't recognize myself anymore.
One of the biggest emotions is the feeling of betrayal.
It's the frustration about being lied to for so many years.
One of the most amazing moments is coming face to face with people who look like us.
I saw a picture of my biological father, and I saw my thick brown hair, and I saw my glasses, and it literally took my breath away.
Donor Babies, a question of identity, at bbcworldservice.com/documentaries or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up after the news, what to do when your 1970s time capsule is 15 billion miles away and needs a bit of maintenance. We look at the rise of the robots and how science fiction might help shape our attitudes to AI legislation. Plus, how and why would you put your name in a diamond? That and more unexpected elements coming up shortly.
With the BBC News, I'm Roisin Hasty. The funeral of the Hamas deputy leader Salih al-Aruri is due to take place in the Lebanese capital Beirut. He was assassinated on Tuesday, raising fears that Israel's war with Hamas could turn into a wider regional conflict. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied involvement in the killing. Health workers in Gaza say Israeli bombardments overnight have killed dozens of Palestinians, including children. The Israeli army says it's hit several Hamas anti-tank squads in the past day. There's a day of mourning in Iran for the victims of Wednesday's bombing at a memorial event in Kerman. More than 80 people were killed by 2 explosions. China has complained about the continuing fighting in northern Myanmar after stray artillery shells crossed the Chinese border, injuring 5 people. Myanmar's ruling junta had been engaged in battles with an alliance of rebel groups. Polish farmers have renewed their blockade of the busiest border crossing with Ukraine after a temporary reprieve. The farmers want written assurances from the government about subsidies for corn, increased loans and a tax freeze. Rescuers in Japan are pressing on in their search for survivors of Monday's earthquake, although they say the chances of finding anyone alive are now very low. Many people are believed to be trapped in collapsed buildings, mostly in the towns of Suzu and Wajima. A court in Argentina has suspended labour reforms that were part of a decree of sweeping economic changes by the new president Javier Milei. Trade unions say the changes erode basic worker protections and have called a general strike for later this month. The African Union and the United States say Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity must be respected. They're responding to a deal for sea access that landlocked Ethiopia has struck with breakaway Somaliland, which is not recognised internationally as an independent state. BBC News.
This is Unexpected Elements from the BBC World Service, the show that moves beyond the headlines to explore science, tech and health. I'm Marnie Chesterton, and with me in voice, although physically in Bucharest in Romania.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Hey, Charlie. You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy. You stressed out. Tired? God, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy. JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agent, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. The best radio show.
World. In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow
you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie, and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Love for you runs deep. All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade, Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands, the hand that made me who I am. Same God now, yesterday, and forevermore. And that's what makes you great. You are God. You will never change. You remain the same to the end. To the end. You are God. One who took my pain, took away my shame. Lord, you reign. That's why forever call you great. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Great is to be praised. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord.
In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your
Radio
smartphone.
UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
All of you makes my heart beat. You make a dawn fade, and that's what makes you great.
You are God. You will never change. You remain.
Okay, let me say a massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth and those of you on other planets as well. I want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Thursday edition of the Morning Show.
My pain took away my shame. Lord, you reign.
Today is the 4th day of January, the year 2024. At the time now, 10:48 from the hearts of London. And for those of you who have tuned in for the first time to listen to us, for the first time of the year, let me say a happy new year to you. For the first time of you joining Starr Radio UK to listen to us, happy new year to you as well, and welcome on board as well. This is a family where we look at everything that is making the rounds across the globe. But I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
And let me say good morning to my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who will be joining me at 11 o'clock with the updates from Nigeria, details of all the stories making the rounds from Nigeria this morning.
All of you.
And also we'll be continuing from there as well. Let me say good morning to My colleague, my apologies, my producer, I was going to say my presenter, my producer, Mr. Francis Guy. Anjana Dedeji, good morning. Aziz, good morning. Shamsuddin, good morning. Olakunle, good morning. Bishop Adesina, good morning. Pastor Momo, Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, Pastor
and forevermore.
Michael Esiama, massive good morning to you and all the reverends and the imams and all you people who listen to us, follow us very closely. I salute each and every one of you once again. So welcome on board. Rachel, good morning. And wherever you are, all the others, I welcome you on board. Open to call observe. My brother Felix, massive good morning to you. I hope you are doing very, very well wherever you are this morning. Konyodi, good morning. Mr. Dan Chabri and all presenters on Starr Radio UK. I salute you. Okay, so cracking on. The quote for the day. It says what? It says what? Let me tell you what the quote for the day says. Success is real hard work that involves a lot of risks and could be at a higher price. Oh, how true is that? I can attest to that. Very risky, but those who dare. Yes. Alright, so we move on straight to the weather front as well. Let me tell you about the weather and what is going on this morning when it comes to the UK front, that is London and the sides of England as well. So this is how the weather is going to be for you today.
And that's what makes you great.
Now this morning there's going to be clouding. My apologies. This morning there's going to be clouding over in the afternoon. There's going to be clouding over in the afternoon. Rain edging in from the south by evening. Now this rain will become increasingly wet as average of rain sweeps through from the southwest. These will be heavy at times and persist throughout the night. The top temperature is going to be 10 degrees. The lower is going to be 6 degrees. Sunset is going to be at 16:05 and sunrise for tomorrow morning 08:06 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast for today. Thursday, the 4th day of January 2024. 10:51 the time. Starr Radio UK stating the morning show, the program. Archie, I am your man. Alright then, so now let's move on straight to the travels as well. We know some of the schools are open today and therefore the kids will be trooping in. But this is how the weather, the travel is like. For those of you who want to travel on the underground, the Central Line has got minor delays, Metropolitan Line minor delays, Piccadilly minor delays. That aside, all the others are running a good service. London Overground, DLR, and London Tramway, good service there as well. There are no substantial delays on the major roads in London. When it comes to the river pass as well, good service throughout. The London cable car is also running a good service, and that brings us to the final segment. That is the National Rail. So on the National Rail this morning, cross country, Great Western Railway, ScotRail, Southwestern Railway, Southern, and Transport for Wales are all on minor delays. That aside, all the others are running a very good service. As I would say once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be traveling or you might be this morning. Enjoy your commitment today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the road.
This our celebrate. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. Greatly to be praised. Great are you, Lord. Great are you, Lord. This our celebrate.
Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Okay, welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to exactly 6 minutes to the top of the hour, and it's time for us to bring you what? The global protein. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching your dial at all. I'm going to bring you everything that you need to know, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headline. So stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Let's move on. So, when it comes to what is happening in Nigeria this morning, well, Yomi is going to bring you all the details. However, this is what is happening. Now, no plan to hike fuel price. The NNPCL assures Nigerians, and preacher allegedly killed in Ogumoto Park, buried by roadside. That's a serious one. A graduate of computer science at the Olabishi Onambanjo University, Ago Iwoye, Ogun State, Oluwatoshin Onadipe, I hope I'm pronouncing the names well, I'm not massacring it, was said to have died after he was allegedly hit with an iron rod by an official of the motor park. Let me tell you more about that. Most Nigerians are dreamers, not doers, Catholic Church bishops say. A minimum wage TUC urges federal government to implement agreement reached with Labour in 2023. Well, if they are not, then we're going to be having some strikes coming our way once again. Now, 2 dead in Sokoto deputy governor's convoy accident. Racketeering, federal government ban on certificate affects 15,000 Nigerian students. That is what NANS is saying from Benin. Now, it's quite an interesting one. At what point? What is the cutoff point? And is it that they are going to check to make sure that, well, everything is okay? What has President Talon said? Because that is also Talon of Benin, because that is one way that they are also getting revenue from Nigeria as well. I mean, building their revenue, because people come to educate themselves there. They pay for it. So what do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio, okay? Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So now let's move on straight to some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Just bear with me. Well, Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton named in Epstein's files. Now, file details sex offender Jeffrey Epstein connection, but no bombshell revelation immediately emerged. It's one of the stories. And Iran leader vows harsh response to deadly bombings. Blacks killed 84 people among crowds, marking the anniversary of Qasem Soleiman's assassination by the US. And this is quite a worrying one, because this is going to just cause more mayhem in the Middle East. Now, Japan pilots unaware of fire until crew told them it was a flight attendant who raised the alarm about the cabin fire, said an airline spokesperson. And then race to find Japan survivors as rescue rescue at least 77 people are now known to have died in the quake, and thousands are still without power. And Swedish snow chaos leaves 1,000 vehicles trapped. As one of the stories making the rounds yesterday, I was reading something. They said, "Oh, there's going to be snow coming our way. The cold weather, cold snap is coming, and therefore we might have a visit from our friend from the east." But I don't know about that. So lots more going to be coming away from there. In the UK front as well, a hospital calls on junior doctors to return to work. NHS bosses say the service is under huge pressure, but junior doctors say they are misusing the system. All right then. And then Labour says questions remain as Prime Minister's wife closes her firm. A spokesperson for Akshata Muti says the company's holding will be transferred to charity. Interesting one there as well. And next was warned of supply delays due to Red Sea attacks. Okay, so those are some of the stories making the rounds there. Now moving on straight to the African front. Nadia Mohammed, first Somali woman elected mayor in Minnesota. First of the kind of Somali woman elected to the position of a mayor in Minnesota, 170 years. First, okay. And DRC opposition will not contest incumbent Felix Tshisekedi. And then Sudan, RSF opens talks on immediate ceasefire with the army. Would that bring about any peace at all? South Africa army dismisses ex-officer's threat to remove president. Well, is it trying to now conduct a coup d'etat or what? Okay, lots more going to be coming your way from that part of the world as well. And then when it comes to Ghana as well, Benkum SHS visual art tutor harnesses creativity to combat rising road crashes. He's done some work there, and quite an interesting one. But would that go down enough for these people when they hit the roads? All that they are thinking about is making some more money. Fiscally challenged SHS graduate with remarkable WASI grades appeal for support. Now, what are our systems there for? That's it. The vulnerable in society who have got they've got a talent, they've got something within them. Do we give them the necessary support so that they can get to or bring out whatever is embedded in them? I'm not sure that we do that often. But well, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. A final one. UCC UEW operations in Nigeria banned over questionable degrees. That is, UCC is University of Cape Coast. So University of Cape Coast campus in Nigeria is one of the ones that have suffered the ban by the government in Nigeria. We'll be talking more about that. Why Chachuchi Kata did not oppose Amewu's late filing in Starr case. Lots more going to be coming your way. I will abdicate if any account people claim to have come to Ghana before bonus. Okay. Lots of questions, a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Our judicial system is truly worse than our. I will bring you more from that. That is coming from Semaphore. All right then. So let's take a musical break. We come back. I'll be bringing you Mr. Olayomi Koiki in the next few moments. But wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't turn it down. This one that I've just picked up, it is Crazy or Thing. They say Your Love. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you in a moment.
Is just like the river that never runs dry on me, flows eternally. How great is your love? Your love is just like the sun shining down on me, lightens my day. Your mercy runs before me, too fast I can contemplate it. Love, each morning your grace awakens my soul. Oh, great is your love for me. Rewriting my story. undeserving of whom I am indeed, yeah, yeah. It is a mystery. Oh, your mercy.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to lost in a deep of your
This is Starr Radio UK.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10 minutes past the top of the hour at the time. And the Thursday edition of the morning show. I've got with me my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, and enough London studios who is all ready to fire on all cylinders. And as we did say yesterday, we apologize for the connectivity issue that was going on there because there was some works going on at Downing Street. Yes, so it was interfering with the connectivity issue. However, we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki this morning, all geared up and well and ready to fire on all cylinders. And let me say, Yomi, good morning. I can't hear you. Okay. Yomi, check your sound. Let me see.
Hear me now.
Okay, yes. Yes, go on.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, I can hear you now. Good. Listeners, we sincerely apologize for that because we know we use lots of gadgets there. So at times, when you don't want some noise, you mute one and then, So that's one of the things that goes on with technology. But we are here once again. Yomi, how are you doing? How was yesterday, number 10 Downing Street and everything that was going on? How was the day?
Well, quite a lot yesterday. Number 10, as usual. It was a very busy time. But again, of the recess that is currently in the country. I'm not sure whether the Prime Minister was at home as at the time broadcasting from there. And can you still hear me? Because I could get a feed coming.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go on.
And like I said, I left there heading into the Parliament. Quite a lot of very busy activities. I'm sure, time of the year, as many people continue to trip down to the UK for so many reasons. People come down to the UK, for holiday, as compared to Africans that come to UK to work and study. I mean, a lot of people get a little bit amazed, with these images like these, which is propping up when, we are broadcasting from outside. We tend to use quite a lot of, gadget to do the transmission. But when people see you with 4 different phones on 2 different tripods, they might a little bit, get a little bit fascinated to see what you're doing. And, this is how we were broadcasting from Downing Street yesterday. And you could tell that many people that probably have not been there, as I was coming in, it seems that, more changes have been done because we don't go there all the time. So the security agency were probably wondering if I was missing the road when I approached the number 10 Downing Street gate. I remember one of the officers looking at me thinking, you're not meant to be on this particular side of the gate. until I presented my press card. And that was vetted, and I went in, and he did apologize that he doesn't see my face quite often. I said, yeah, well, that doesn't mean probably maybe you're new into the number 10 Downing Street. We are not new. We've come down here previous times. Again, question many Africans as we continue to look at what is happening across Africa this morning is, why do we have other part of the world that come down on holiday, spend money, and then they return back to their home country, as against people coming from Ghana, Kenya, mostly Nigerians, arrive in UK, and after 25 years, 30 years, some of us have not returned back to our own base. That was how we were able to link that to the insecurity. Is it because of the insecurity in the land? My guest, Mr. Femi Aratokun Ale, spoke to us yesterday, and he mentioned that the reason why we are seeing the insurgency is again, the Western agenda to make sure that those areas that have vast amount of mineral resources continue to be attacked. All these and so much are part of what we discussed yesterday, and then we did talk about what we're going to be picking on this morning. These three phases, there are 6 of them. That is part of the headline. But let me come back again to you this morning. But like I said yesterday, was a very fantastic outing again as usual. Each time we get to number 10 Downing Street, it's like trying to get to the Aso Rock, but I'm not sure whether you will go into Aso Rock with a military backpack. And my military backpack that I would travel with, just indicate that it doesn't matter. I'm sure maybe what officer saw was like the military backpack, but they realized that it's just that the love that we have for the British military that allows us to carry the military backpack.
Well, listeners, at least if you don't know, we teach you here, so you know what happens here in the UK. And it's quite interesting with your guest that was on the Niger Voices and talking about the fact that we have the developing countries causing unrest and in the various communities where we have minerals and all that stuff. I agree with him 100%, and that's why we have minerals so much that we don't need to have gone outside, but they will find ways and means. And our leaders, who not all of them, those who have not got their heads screwed on, now end up going into all sort of agreements with them, and virtually we get impotence or virtually nothing out of it. And they'll come and tell you that, look, your environment is now destroyed, blah blah blah. And you ask yourself the question: so why or will our own people want to go back home to go and live there? Listeners, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Just bear with us. I think Yomi had to get up quickly to sort something out there. Okay.
Yeah, realized that the system was not, plugged in, and we will have lost, the transmission back to you in the studio. But we're back again on the seat.
Yes, listeners. So that's Miss Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria on the morning show, the Thursday edition at 17 minutes past 11. Now let's crack on. No plan to hike fuel prices. NNPCL assures Nigerians. Now we know one of the causes of price of food rising and everything rising in our countries or a part of the world is fuel. The moment fuel prices goes up, then you have the Gary, the person selling Gary telling you that the price is gone up. Everybody. So this assurance, had there been some thoughts and some movements that is making people feel that, well, there was going to be hikes in fuel prices?
If I just take about 30 seconds again, bear with us.
That's okay. Well, listeners, as I was asking, are there any what do you call it, indications of fuel prices going up in Nigeria? We know that Nigeria shouldn't talk about fuel prices, price hikes. I mean, they are big time oil producing country, crude oil. However, interestingly, they have all that, yet they cannot refine the oil there. So it has been taken outside of the country for that to be done there as well. But we know that Dangote's one is upstream now. I mean, I think it's working, and the one in the southeast as well is up now. So we see maybe that will help ease the fuel prices. But Yomi is back, and let's go to him. So why are people suspecting that the fuel prices are going to go high or up? Yomi.
Yes. Yesterday, the rumor, or probably what again is not confirmed as at yesterday, was that the pump price will go to 1,200 naira per liter. You talked about the price of gari. Behind us is cassava. It's not just used for gari, it's also used, we talked about this some few weeks back, for the bureau that turn it into, Guinness. The situation when it comes to, a country that for years, for decades, we've not been able to rectify our refinery, but gradually we were told by the new administration that the Port Harcourt refinery is up and running. That's what we know. I mean, I've not been able to confirm that, but we go with what the government is saying. But this morning, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, it used to be NNPC, has now been also company. Yesterday declared that there was no plan yet to increase the price premium multi-spirit, planning on us. According to the NNPCL Chief Corporate Communication Officer, Olufemi Shuneye, made this in a statement. Nigerians regard rumors of a possible hike in the petrol price. We don't go with rumors well on this platform, we go with facts. We will stick to what they are saying, know that there's already panic buying in the state. It says that the company had no plan yet to raise the cost of production on the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. You might ask about what is with the Dangote refinery.
Yeah.
Much as Dangote refinery is not government owned, it's a private owned. We are not going to see anything from the Dangote refinery, anytime soon, even though we were giving these, hope that this refinery is up and running. As at 2 days ago, the Dangote refinery received the fourth 1 million crude supply from the NNPCL, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, has supplied an additional 1 million barrels of crude oil. Dangote, I get a feed coming back, Dangote refinery to commence production. So that means that as much as Nigerians' expectation from the Dangote refinery, we're not going to get anything coming out soon from that area or that sector yet.
Okay. We're not going to get anything from there yet. How is the government assuring the citizens that, look, the prices are not going to go up? Is it government that determines how much the fuel prices should be?
Yes, the government determine how much price, for the price to be sold at the pump. But again, whatever Dangote will be selling, we would have to wait until when he's fully in that production. But for now, he's still receiving, the crude oil. We know that some came from outside Nigeria, but it seems that already the NNPCL have supplied Dangote with a 1 million barrel to support the Dangote refinery project. Remember, it's a big project and it has cost huge amount of money. These are not Dangote's money alone. We're talking about different investors that have invested in it. And it's not just for the production of refined products for Nigerians alone. It's also going to be doing for so many as well. But again, the Dangote refinery have now received 3 shipments of the crude oil. And as we say, the Dangote refinery is expected to start the production of the diesel and aviation fuel jet this January. However, the production of the premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, is being delayed by the supply of the crude oil in this installment.
Okay, we'll see what happens there. But a bit of assurance there as to whether Nigerians do agree or will accept that assurance. We're not very sure about it. As Buhari said, assurance.
And that's the video song as well, assurance.
Okay, give me assurance. Buhari gave assurance, but the assurance wasn't good enough. Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African.
And maybe we should pick on that before, because the assurance Buhari gave, seems not to have paid off. And it seems after years that Buhari left. Let's listen to this.
I would say I agree with the opinion that General Buhari in the last 8 years or thereabouts, and I mean virtually nothing in our fight against terrorism. If anything, he promoted and enhanced our hardship as far as the fight against terrorism was concerned.
I'll leave that and I'll come back again to you. This is one of the former military, giving his analysis about a failed former president. I did ask a scorecard from our guest, Mr. Femi Arato-Kunwale, yesterday. He was not even ready to give Buhari one pass mark.
Wow. It's quite interesting. The development and everything there. Because why they concentrated their efforts on, silencing the Yoruba nation group that were agitating for that, and why they were concentrating on the IPOP, and instead of fighting those who were terrorizing people, killing people, they were not doing that. They were, that shows what was going on in his head, isn't it?
Well, that shows what was going on in his head. And again, as usual, we can link that to, though the military have come out to say that, news coming out since yesterday, we should not, go with it. But what is the actual news? It has now generated a lot of conversation across Nigeria. And this is how the news filtered out yesterday. Let me first play the video, then I can do some kind of explanation of that, especially to our listeners around. And many Nigerians, not just those that are campaigning for Yoruba. Let's listen to this.
Huh? What local government? Where are you from? I'm from Maito. Where are you from originally? Kaduna State. From where? Kaduna State. I'm Alkali by name. Okay. Yes, I'm from Kaduna State. Okay. I'm living with your brother. Yes. And you are coming out under what local government? Lagos Island. Local government. Yes. Do you have a family house in Lagos Island? No. Okay. What's your name? Luka David. What? Luka David. Luka? David. Where are you from? From Kaduna State. Kaduna State. What local government are you coming out from? Oshodi. Who gave you the indigenship certificate? What's your name? Where are you from? Kaduna State. Lagos. Where did you get the indigenship certificate from? I'm staying with my uncle. Your uncle, speak up. I'm staying with my uncle. There's not Shoba Yoruba. Shoba Yoruba. Shoba Yoruba. Shoba Yoruba. Shoba Yoruba. You have a love for a Yoruba. Molongbe. Shoba Yoruba. Molongbe. Any certificates?
Let me explain what has happened. There's a recruitment going on across the country, and every part of Nigeria will be given a slot. But it seems that the faces behind the background that you've seen, according to the release coming out from Nigeria, the audio you've listened to, these are not Yorubas, but they found themselves to the recruitment. How that happened means that they've been able to gain indigenous certificate. That means they are claiming to be indigenous of Lagos State, even though you can hear they're from Kaduna State. The headline says, Army recruitment, the Northerners arrested for attempting to take the Lagos slot. The Lagos State government has called for the arrest and trial of 6 Northern candidates participating in the Nigerian Army recruitment process who claim to be indigenous of the state. The video that surfaced that we played out yesterday showing 6 candidates in the recruitment process who hail from Kaduna State, but they are claiming Kushofe local government area in Lagos Island. They are also claiming Oshodi, Isolo local government, respectively, as their local government of origin. By claiming to hail from Lagos, the candidates are intended to secure the slot designated to Lagos State indigene. Many people are very concerned. Are these same thing that we've been talking about, the sleeper cells? Maybe some might disagree, but let me take us back to 2011 when the United Arab Emirates, this was still 2022, according to the U.S. State Department Treasury, Treasury sanctioned 6 individuals for raising funds in the United Arab Emirates to support Nigerian Boko Haram terrorists. According to all the 6 that were found guilty of establishing a Boko Haram cell in the United Arab Emirates to raise funds and provide material assistance to Boko Haram insurgents in Nigeria, according to the OFASC, Office of the Foreign Asset, following the arrest and persecution and designation in UAE in 2021, September, demonstrating the commitment of the Emirate government, even though Buhari did nothing. Nobody have come out to say whether these are just individuals from the north, or again, are they the same type of what we've been told by the former comrade Kunle Olayomi, that said and quote, that the Nigerian military barracks is open every Friday and everyone can come in and go out. Should we be concerned that we now have individuals that are trying to claim to be from Lagos, but they are not coming from Lagos? I might remind you again of a particular individual in 2009 that wanted to bomb the American airline known as Umar Farouk Abu Mutalab. Umar Farouk Abu Mutalab is also from Kaduna State, as at the time he was 29 years old, or 25 rather. He pleaded guilty after he wanted to do what they called commit an act of in the national boundaries at murder with a special aircraft jurisdiction of the United States. Again, he says, and I quote, that he will do it again, even though right now he will not be able to do it, because as investigation and prosecution show, Umar Farouk Mutalab, a 25 years old from Kaduna State, was a remorseless terrorist who believed it is a duty to kill Americans for attempting to take the lives of 289 people. Are these individuals just from the north, or is it just again the open borders where anyone can claim to be a Nigerian citizen? Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Now, it's quite interesting because I'm looking at it this way, that if there is recruitment into the military, everybody who is a Nigerian should have the privilege of, applying for it. If they are,
You must have the privilege, but that has to be in your state.
Okay.
So these individuals are claiming to be Lagosians, indigent, and they have the certificate already in their hands, in their possession, and they are not from Lagos.
Well, listeners, the less I talk about it, the better, because also that is happening because we don't have proper data system, and anything goes on there. But well, it is Starr Radio UK in our North London studios. Mr. Olayomi Koiki, I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we're bringing you updates from Nigeria. Interestingly, a preacher allegedly has been killed in Ogun Motor Park and buried by the roadside. What happened?
Well, it is another sad news as Nigeria not happened to us. What we can confirm this morning, a graduate of a computer science at the Olabisi Onabanjo University at Goiwoye in Ogun State, southwest of Nigeria, Oluwatosin Onodipe, was said to have died after he was allegedly hit with an iron rod by the official of a motor park in Ago, Ogbolu local government areas of the state for preaching. This is just as his body was said to have been buried by the roadside by the same officials of Odogbolu local government area after his body was dumped by the police officer. You can see that even after your death in Nigeria, you are as much as not respected dignity. And that takes me to, as I was looking at this morning, the definition of a crime against humanity, because many crime that goes on in Nigeria is crime against humanity. According to the Roman Statute of the International Criminal Court, ICC, that the Yoruba people have already petitioned the former president, the former military, and so many of them like that. Article 7, crime against humanity. For the purpose of this statute, crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of a widespread of systematic attack directed against any civilian population with the knowledge of the attack: a murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation or forcible transfer of population, imprisonment or other severe deprivation of physical liability in violation of the fundamental rules of international law, torture, rape, sexual slavery, enforced prostitution, forced pregnancy, enforced sterilization, and any other form of sexual violence or comparable. And the last one, persecution against any identifiable group or collectively collectivity, on political, racial, national, ethnic, cultural, religious, gender, as defined in paragraph 3. The question is, why would a preacher be killed broad daylight and the body was buried? According to the deceased father, Raymond Onodikwe, yesterday, that Oluwatosin left home in December 17 to attend a program at the redemption camp, but was unreachable after he had spoken with his brother on his phone. Well, it is now reachable, but the body is what is reached, even though it has become another crime scene in Nigeria this morning.
It is quite interesting and worrying because you look at Nigeria, and it's one of the places where earlier on, looking at governance system and everything, we thought that there was that proper integration, religious. I mean, but when you come to the south, it's much better. But when you go to the north, but Kaduna, Ogun State, I don't think anything of the sort should have happened. Is it that he stirred up trouble? Did he start insulting some people? That's why that thing happened. What has the police said so far, though?
Remember that just before we went on the break, we talked about, Yaba Psychiatric Hospital is getting very full.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that are going through a lot of depression. And sometimes if you are doing these kind of things, it could be a little bit uncomfortable for some. But you're quite right. In the Southwest, we are very, very religious, tolerant people, and we've lived very peacefully among ourselves. But we're looking at the country right now that is going through so much. And when I mean so much, there's so much depression, there's so much suicidal, and it seems that whatever took place at that motor park, something went wrong. According to the Friday, December 22, the brother tried to ring the line again. The person who picked told us that they found the phone on the road and that the owner could come and pick it at Ode Remo. I was then suspicious that Oderemon and I go at distance to each other. How come his phone got to Oderemon? The next morning at 6 a.m., they went down there, reported to the police station where an officer was assigned. So you can tell that something went wrong, but whatever went wrong shouldn't have happened. But it seems that in Nigeria, it is always one thing and one case after the other. By tomorrow, we'll be coming out again to talk about so many other things. How do we tackle all these menace? Do we say that the center is not holding? What is happening in Nigeria, and why are we witnessing, these horrible crimes against humanity in a world that should not be? But it seems that the world itself is so busy with so many things happening around it. But again, they are too less concerned as many people that are losing their lives in Nigeria today.
Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, the Thursday edition of the morning show with me, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, in our North London studios. I'm Archie here in the South studios, and we're bringing you updates from Nigeria. Let me touch on one other story, and then I'll let Yomi bring you the rest. Now, a Catholic bishop saying that most Nigerians are dreamers, not doers. Now, I talk about the enabling environment. So somebody is completed university and they want to go into a job, or they want to, let's say, entrepreneurship. Okay, but they don't have that system doesn't work. So how do you tell them that they're just dreamers, not doers? What do you want them to do? Does he want them to go robbing people? What is he expecting from them when the enabling environment has not been created by the government? Yomi.
Well, you're right. According to the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Oyo State, southwest of Nigeria, Most Reverend Emmanuel Badejo, has said that only New Year resolutions accompanied by prayers and determination can literally meet fulfillment end. I was looking at yesterday, if you have to start, you start from A and then end to Z. But it seems that in Nigeria, you can start from A and you might not leave A because of so many factors. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon pays the government as of 2022 a total of £781 million sterling in tax. They have a workforce of 75,000. They have about 100 warehouses across the country. Almost every household in UK at a week or in a month will receive a package. Many Nigerians will also love to have this time of opportunity, but when things are becoming very unbearable, we should have invested in the productivity, in the infrastructure that have been deficit for a very long time. According to this Catholic that was interviewed in Ibadan yesterday, resolutions are good or necessary for every human step in life, but however, they need to be properly understood. A resolution is different from a wish, which is simply desire that does not imply action. As it is often said, if wishes were horses, even beggars would ride on one. A resolution is a plan, a roadmap to making a wish come true. If you fail to plan, then you will plan to fail. Many people have literally planned not to fail, but the country has failed many Nigerians for so many reasons across board. Well, the New Year resolution should not be a joke, as the undertakings of serious-minded people. The verses of the Bible even talk that Jesus Christ resoluted turning his face towards Jerusalem, where he was to lay down his life. Luke 1:51, according to him.
It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting, isn't it? My listeners, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria, where he nailed it on he talked about the fact that the government is failing the people. And I'll talk about that enabling environment. So if somebody becomes a minister or a governor or whatever, and they go negotiating stuff, they need to know that the interest of the people is paramount to their own personal interest, and the one who is trying to invest. That's what we have to be doing. But do we have leaders like that? I'm not very sure about that. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. The TUC says that, well, we are expecting that the agreement that we entered into with government won't be implemented. They entered into it 2023. But I don't think implementation has happened yet. So what is going to happen? Over to you, Yomi, and the rest of the story that's making the rounds. Take over.
Thank you so much. Well, you're quite right. The TUC, the Trade Union Congress continued to say to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that the agreement that, was being, discussed as at the time of last year should be fulfilled and not to be kept to the side. But whether the president would do so, the president is more concerned, even though many Nigerians have been very, very skeptical about his own certificate in Chicago. But the president says, and I quote, "I will deal with all those that are trying to bring fake certificate from foreign university as criminals, and I promise to arrest each one of them." I mean, it's been a very interesting time, in Nigeria, that we have a president that himself, have a certificate, but has some questioning around the certificate. At least, he has one. Buhari never had one. Let's go into that again. President Bola Tinubu's government has labeled Nigerians who obtain fake certificate from foreign institutions as criminals, vowing to flush them out of the system. According to the Minister of Education, Tai Mama, in an interview granted yesterday, disclosed this in the wake of so many investigations by some of the newspaper exposing how Benin Republic. I mean, Mr. Archie, I don't know whether you can get a 4 days out of 4 years and become a graduate. That is exactly what has happened. I mean, people pay 600,000 naira and you could be graduate in less than 3 months from a university in Benin Republic for a 4-year course.
Oh, wow.
Well, berating Nigerians that are parading fake certificate from foreign university, Mr. Mama said students who patronize foreign institutions to procure degrees are not victims, they are criminals. I have no sympathy for such people. Instead, they are part of the criminal chain that should be arrested. Well, it seems that that is not taken easy by the current administration, even though many are asking the same question whether Tinubu's certificate from Chicago should look into as well. Local rice prices have now increased to 73% in 12 months. This is coming from the Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics. Well, as we all do as well outside the country and in Nigeria, many people eat rice, but the cost of rice now is growing up, is growing very, very fast in terms of the price. We are growing, but we are not growing enough to feed ourselves, and that means as many that wants to import, it is also classified as an illegal product. The increased high cost of production, transportation. Remember, I talked about Amazon. Transportation is very, very important. I've seen and we continue to see dilapidated roads, and that means that farmers will struggle to bring back as much. Someone also sent the discussion of what was happening on a particular radio program in Lagos this morning, talking about farming. As much of, let's speak on what was discussed during that conversation with the guest, and I'll be coming to you in the studio with what is happening on the social media in the next 2 minutes.
We run 24 hours. The government don't need to even involve. The partnership we are doing good. We have in Ogun State too, at Odeda with Danone. But how much of it has the governor or the government encouraging other people to regulate? you are just seeing a patry of less than 0.1% of what they need intervention. Why don't we call a business summit whereby you bring all the Southwest governor, the ministers, the all political holders, traditional leaders. When you want to give title for people to come and become a Shiba or Tumba, let them come and invest in agriculture. Ijebu is going to give us 1 million new plant, 1 million trees of oil palm. Bring people that have money. This is a template. Let them start growing. But as long as they are still doing those political talks, that we have started doing something like Fashola. I know Fashola very well. When I was in Odua, we grew 620 hectares of soya bean in Fashola. You know what happened? We could not harvest everything because there was only 2 combined harvesters in the whole of Southwest then. And we got one through AG Lamentis. We went to Aganabody to bring and we went to Minot to bring the 2. So when one of them became faulty.
So you can see that the farmers are ready, the workers are there, the zeal is there, but the government is just not there. It is just the same talking show. And this has been the same thing since 1999, and we've not been able to feed ourselves, and we continue to live in denial. Rice, a staple food widely consumed in Nigeria, has been rising in the price despite its production locally. The commodity now sells between 55,000 naira and 60,000 for a 50 kg bag, depending on the area. This is coming from the National Bureau of Statistics. I go straight to the social media because of the time constraint. Once again, this is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Been the 4th day of the month of January 2024. And let's see what is trending this morning on the social media space. Again, Wura _ Yoruba Nini, hashtag Yoruba Nation Now. Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra government in exile, has announced a recruitment exercise for the board responsible for the drafting the declaration of the Biafra independence in 2024. African Confidential at Bumi _ speaks. One thing I learned from a recent visit to Lagos is that in whatever you do, no grief for anybody. It is, if that is a good or bad toxic lesson, be of anyone can help out. Again, U.S. charged Nigerian fintech businessman Dozie Mbosu, who tried to buy Sheffield United with fraud. What a very one again coming up there. And then take 1 or 2 more. Again, one of the most outspoken journalists in Nigeria is also very vocal on the social media space. Oseni Rufai name. If, according to the cable report, the tickets were resold by the staff of the National Rail Corporation, remember that the government said that it should be free, but it seems that somebody have taken advantage and started selling it off. When they ought to be free, then I challenge Mr. Lake's claim the 160,000 naira benefit from the free transport scheme. Can he account for the free ticket racketeering that happened and how many people precisely benefited from the scheme with their names and phone numbers? It seems that even though the government was trying to say, let us have a free transport for people during the period of Christmas, but it seems some Nigerians have taken advantage to resell those tickets as well. The last one coming again, federal government suspend degree from Uganda and Kenya and others as we continue to talk. And Yoruba Nation Now at Yoruba _ now, words of wisdom from His Royal Majesty, the former Alaafin. I've listened to that this morning, and he was talking about the talking drum, that the Yoruba have the best talking drum. The drum can literally even talk during a wartime that says, Moja Mosa, Lafi Maki Konju. At some point, you could lay those weapons and retreat so that you don't get killed during the war. He also talked about the drum, talking to the king to wake them up in the morning and reminding them of their constitutional right against the citizens. Well, I'm not sure whether the politicians will love those kind of drums, because if they have it, they'll probably destroy, because it will be reminding them of the poverty that have kept Nigerians in the last 24 years of democracy.
I bet you they will say, we need to be modernized. We don't need to go back. So yeah.
They will not use those kind of drums. I don't think they need a drum that can remind them that people need a good road, people need good welfare. They'll probably not need so. Even Alaafin, I met him, before he died, and so many questions around Yoruba Nation that he told us, like I always say, some of such is not something we can discuss, but he did say that the Yoruba country will come soon, but how soon we don't know. Remember that he also told us that Buhari wanted to arrest Olayomi right inside the palace, and he said to them that will never happen while he's alive. But right now, we don't say the king died, we say the king has transcended into another journey.
Well, may his soul rest in peace, and may our quest be followed, and let's see what happens there. But a quick one from that isn't the rice. We know that they were importing some. We're bringing some from Benin. Has it been, I mean, have they raised that ban?
It would be classified as a contraband. You will not bring the rice through Benin Republic, even though we know that there are still some big players that are doing it. But if you're a small player, the custom will run after you. And that took place over the Christmas time, that they went into the town to take the ones that have already gone into the country, in terms of those that have brought them in, take them out from their warehouse. And we know how that works. Their wife will be reselling those bags again.
Interesting. But we know that the farmers as well, because we are looking at the price of rice that has gone up. It's because there is no, supply and demand. There's no supply because farmers are not going to their farms to get to grow their rice because of insecurity that's happening there. And government is not allowing people to import them from neighboring countries, which will bring the prices down, because if the market is flooded with the goods, the prices automatically drops. So what is Tinubu going to do about that?
Well, like I said, many of us are well concerned already, even though the former governor of Ogun State, Oshoba, says we should give Tinubu more time, to work around many of the problems. The Senate president is saying the same thing. Professor Wole Soyinka, the Nobel laureate, says he would not say anything until after 1 year. But again, without a structure to protect farmers, then we are likely to see food hunger this particular year, 2024. And that is going from another video that we have where the woman was talking about being a farmer, but in Plateau State, they are now destroying as many of their farmland because of the natural resources underneath. That means, some of the crops coming out from Plateau State will not reach our home due to the insecurity in Plateau State presently.
Well, we wish Tinubu the best, because this is not child play at all. You look at everything that is going on, you see that this is a tough work. But well, he said he's got a certificate, whether he got it genuinely or whatever, doesn't matter. So far as delivering, then we'll mark him on that, not a certificate, Abby.
Definitely.
All right then, Yomi, let me say thank you very much for the updates once again. And before you go.
Well, make sure you stay tuned and follow us on the social media, and likewise remember to share and like and tell your friends that we're live every Wednesday and also Monday to Friday as we continue to give you all the updates from Nigeria. Archie will take over from me, and I'll be back again same time tomorrow after 11 o'clock. Bye for now.
Bye. Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It is now gone 8 minutes to 12 the time. At 12 o'clock, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions wherever you might be. But now, let's go take a quick commercial, and then I'll bring you some music, and we continue. I'm going to bring you Jeanette, and it says, Really Demi, my nation. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
Èmi fòmìnira forílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Yóò polongo fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira forílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. kọ̀lọ̀kọ̀lọ̀ rárá kò jọra. Ọmọ ojú wa dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ bàbá rẹ̀. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ lọ́kọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò polongo fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ìlú tán lọ́rùn fẹ́ lọ lọ́rùn yọ. Èyí tó yàn ló tún ṣe lọ́gàn. Bàbá fẹ́ wá, ó tún yọ wá. Wọ́n ṣe wá lọ́gàn, ó tún wá fá lọ́gbọ̀n ní sí. Èmi ọ̀pọ̀ lọ́gbọ̀ fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Mi ò polongo fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Ọlọ́run dìde jọ̀wọ́ má ṣe wòran mọ́. Ìyà ìsọ̀kẹ́ ó pọ̀ jù lórílẹ̀-èdè. Ṣé bí wọ́n ló gbé àwọn ebèrú dìjà? Bàbá mi dìde jọ̀wọ́ jẹ́rìí ara rẹ̀. Èmi ò polongo fáráyé. Èmi ò sọ nípa orílẹ̀-èdè yóò. Sọ́wọ́rọ̀ yìí. Ohun tí mo fẹ́ ni mo fẹ́ o. Èmi fòmìnira fórílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá. Èmi ò polongo fáráyé. Èmi ò polongo orílẹ̀-èdè mi. Ìbá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ìtùnú sílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí. Ìmọ̀ fẹ́ o. Àní ọmọ aládé jẹun bí irọ́. Ọmọ olówó wáyé ṣàgbé. Ọmọ aláṣọ wáyé wá kísà. Ọmọ alágbẹ̀dọ̀ àìsàn náà rẹ̀. Òye pa wá bí ẹni pẹ̀rọ. Òye tún wá tàbí ní ìtúṣu. Ọlọ́run kojú wọlé látọ̀yàn. Jẹ̀dí sí gbẹ̀mí àwọn aláìṣẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ máa pè é rà.
This is Starr Radio UK.
You are listening to Starr Radio Morning Show.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa will provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Exactly 12 o'clock from the hearts of London, and it is the Thursday edition of the morning show. The lines are open. You want to hop in, feel free to do so. Just call us on 0208-133-2257 and I will make sure your voice is heard. Now, you could also text or WhatsApp at 07539661744, 07539661744. Our Twitter handle is at Starr Radio UK and email address is info@Starr Radio UK. Oh, I say our Twitter here. Yeah? Our X. Okay, our X, that is our X address. So make sure you do so. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London as well. Okay, so just bear with us whilst we continue with the program wherever you might be this morning. And at 12 o'clock, we bring the curtains down, as I did say earlier on. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time exactly a minute after 12. Okay, just bear with me. I've been trying to get our system. Don't worry. Be happy. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's move on to some other stories making the round this morning in other parts of the world. But we're going to be starting from here in the UK. Okay, I think they are sending message to the wrong people, but that is up to them. All right then. Now let's move on straight, as I did say. Now, when it comes to other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, starting from other parts of the world first before we narrow down and end up in Ghana. Well, Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton named in Epstein's files, but interestingly, was it damaging? What names? So if you take my phone and you see names of anybody on it, does that mean that maybe I considered some dodgy business with? As it's alleged that Epstein had done. But the UK Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton are among high-profile figures named in US court papers detailing connection of late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. So they could be friends. They could be it could be financier or whatever. The newly released records form part of a case against Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's girlfriend, who had been jailed for helping him abuse girls. But the documents so far unveil no major new allegations about Epstein nor revelations about his associates. Prince Andrew is accused of groping a woman, which he denies, Other names in the document include singer Michael Jackson and magician David Copperfield, though no wrongdoing is alleged. Mr. Clinton appears in a number of the documents. The former U.S. president has acknowledged being a former associate of Epstein, but has strongly denied he had any knowledge of his crimes there as well. And that could be very, very true there. The first files from the much hyped trove covering about 900 pages were released on Wednesday after an order by the New York judge Loretta Preska, who acknowledged many of those named had already been identified by the media or in Maxwell's criminal trial. Now, Judge Preska said that many others did not raise an objection to the release of the document. However, she ordered that some names remain redacted because they would identify victims of sexual abuse. Well, so coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. Now, in other development in the Middle East and everything that seems to be happening there, Hezbollah says 4 have been killed in cross-border fighting with Israel. And we're looking at everything there, and there is worry when it comes to geopolitics at the moment, because that particular area, it could be a very chaotic one. Let me put it that way. But Iran leader has vowed harsh response to deadly bombings that killed 84. Now, Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has vowed a harsh response to a bomb attack on crowds marking the anniversary of spy master Qasem Soleimani's assassination by the U.S. The attack in Kerman in southern Iran killed 84 people and wounded many more. The death toll was revised down on Thursday morning by the head of Iran's emergency services from an early figure of 95. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack. Now, cruel criminals must know that they will be strongly dealt with from now on, and undoubtedly there will be a harsh response, Khamenei said in a statement on Wednesday evening. President Ibrahim Raisi, political deputy Mohammed Jamshidi blamed Israel and the U.S. However, the U.S. said it had no indication that Israel was involved and dismissed any suggestion that Washington was involved. Suspicion may fall on Arab separatists and Sunni jihadist groups like Islamic State, who have carried out attacks on civilians and security forces in the country in recent years. So, what do you think is going on there? Soleimani was seen as the most powerful figure in Iran after the supreme leader before he was killed in a U.S. drone strike in neighboring Iraq in 2020. Now, Wednesday's attack comes amid heightened tensions in the region after the deputy leader of the Iran-backed Palestinian group Hamas was killed in an apparent Israeli drone strike in Lebanon. Now, footage broadcast by Iranian state TV showed large crowds were taking part in the procession along a road lined with banners featuring Qasem Soleimani when the explosion happened. Now, people could be heard screaming and then seen running away in panic after one of the blasts there. Okay, so coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But Hezbollah has gone on to say 4 of its fighters were killed in Lebanon on Wednesday evening in a cross-border fire with Israel. The Israel military says it attacked terrorist infrastructure and reported attacks from Lebanon into Israel. Fears of a regional war grew after killing of Hamas deputy leader Saleh al-Arori in Lebanon on Tuesday. The funeral of Arori, who was a key figure in Hamas armed wing, is set to take place in Beirut today. In Gaza, more bombing has been reported, with the Palestinian Red Crescent saying its building in Khan Yunis was hit by Israeli strikes again. At least 1,200 people were killed when Hamas attacked Israel on the 7th of October, and about 240 others were taken hostage. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza says more than 22,000 people have been killed in the territory since Israel started its retaliatory campaign. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Japan jet crash. Airline pilots unaware of cabin fire until crew told them. Pilots of a Japanese airliner that collided with a smaller plane at Tokyo Haneda Airport was initially unaware that the jet was on fire. It was a flight attendant who informed them of the cabin fire, a Japan Airlines spokesperson said. After the evacuation of all 379 on board Japan Airlines Flight 516 proceeded with life-saving precision. Now, 5 or 6 people on board the smaller Coast Guard plane, a Bombardier Dash 8, died. Now, right after the plane touched down, the pilot felt a sudden shock and lost control to stay in the runway. A fire took place, but the pilots didn't recognize it in the beginning and learned about it through the cabin attendant. The Japanese airline spokesperson said there were 3 pilots and 12 flight attendants on board when the incident took place. The aircraft announcement system was damaged, leaving the crew to use megaphones and their own voices to shout instructions. The first thing cabin attendants did after they realized they were passengers who recognized that their plane was on fire was to make them stay calm and not to stand up, which could make the escape very difficult. The announcement system was unusable, so these instructions were made without it. Japanese media have described the evacuation as a miraculous 18 minutes. The passengers left their hand luggages, dashed to emergency exits, and slid out of the aircraft before it was engulfed in flame. Smoke started to come into the cabin and spread out. Cabin attendants began shouting at passengers, saying, "Leave your belongings, take off your high heels, and head down," said the spokesperson. Their cooperation was the key for all passengers being able to escape quickly and safely, they added. Well, looking at everything that took place there, I mean, it was a miracle. It was a miracle for 379 people to escape a flight in 18 minutes or come out of a flight. That is it's not like just sitting, but there is fire on it, where you can see the fire, I mean, running through the cabin, coming through the cabin like no man's business. Oh boy. Well. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on to other parts of the world quickly. This around, let's look at UK. Now, hospitals are calling on junior doctors to return to work. But the issue that they are also talking about is that their concerns have not been addressed. That is the pay. So NHS bosses have made more than 20 requests for striking junior doctors in England to be allowed to cross the picket line to help out services. None of the requests made on the first strike day have been granted so far by the British Medical Association. The union accused NHS bosses of misusing the system known as derogation and bowing to political pressure to undermine the strike. But NHS England said they were genuine requests for help. It said the health service was under huge pressure after the 6-day walkout began on Wednesday, and NHS bosses were trying everything they could to protect patients and keep struggling services safe. Now, given this period of industrial action coincides with the most difficult time of the year for the NHS, it is to be expected that some senior medical leaders will also will ask for allowances to be made to ensure safe levels of cover, the spokesman added. Well, listeners, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Let's move on to other parts of Africa as well, and let me tell you what is happening there as well. Okay. Let's go to DR Congo. An opposition candidate in the Democratic Republic of Congo has filed a petition before the Constitutional Court, against the victory of Felix Tshisekedi in the country's presidential election. According to provincial figures from the Electoral Commission, incumbent President Felix Tshisekedi won the election with over 73% of the vote ahead of other 25 candidates. Now, Theodore Ngoy, who came last in the presidential election, filed the petition just before the expiration of its deadline. He is credited by the turning with 0.02 of the vote percent of the vote, and that is 4,139. Now, Ngoy, who was part of the disappointed candidates who had 2 days to lodge appeals, the deadline expired Wednesday evening, and only one candidate finally appealed to the Constitutional Court. The court now has 7 days to examine his appeal and give its decision. Well. I don't know whether the others will try to bring in some evidence there, but it's not coming away from Starr Radio. Okay, let's move on to Ghana as well. Let's look at some of the other stories making the rounds there. A physically challenged student, SAS graduate with remarkable WASI grades, has appealed for support. Bismarck Champong, an 18-year-old graduate from Bompata Presbyterian Senior High School, seeks assistance to fulfill his educational dreams. And Bismarck, a resident of Obogu near Joaso in the Ashanti region, has overcome physical challenges to graduate from Bompata Presbyterian Senior High School in 2023. Despite facing adversity due to an alleged medical negligence that resulted in disability during his tender age, Achampon has proven his academic prowess by securing an impressive achievement in the Ghanaian version of the West African Senior High School Certificate Examination, the WASI. Now, look at his results transcript, and it's social studies A1, English language B3, mathematics B2, integrated science A1, economics A1, geography A1, government A1, history B2. Which is quite good, excellent, good, very good, excellent, and the B2 is very good. So, well, wouldn't he get a scholarship? Bismarck, the first person in his family to complete senior high school, hails from a modest background. His mother, a farmer, and his father, a mason, are divorced. Now, undeterred by his physical challenges, Achampon aspires to study political science and dreams of becoming a lawyer in the future. However, to turn these aspirations into reality, Bismarck Achampon is appealing for support from state and private institutions and well-wishers to further his education at the university level. I need a financial assistant to further my education at the university. I want to study political science, but in future, I want to become a lawyer, Bismarck Achampon said. His story is a testament to determination, and the call for assistance adds another layer to his already inspiring journey. Now, individuals and organizations interested in contributing to Bismarck's educational pursuit are encouraged to reach out and make a positive impact on his promising future. I brought this story because I think that he's got something in him, and if we're here and you can offer anything, that will go a long way for him to acquire or to arrive at his destination. It is Starr Radio UK. Let's take a quick commercial break and I'll be with you. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the last trend of the morning show. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Continue to be with me, and I'll bring you everything that you need to know. Tomorrow's Friday, God willing, we'll come back your way to bring you everything. Fortunately, keeping fingers and everything crossed, we might have our money man coming on to bring you what you got to do in a new year where you need money or there's scarcity of money. The January blues, where you go 31 days and then people have no money because they've blown all their money during the Christmas time. What do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way from there. So wherever you are, don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's go on. Now, Ghana will be going for elections this year. Now, let me touch on two stories, and then we bring the program to a close. A latest opinion poll by Global Info Analytics for the 2024 election has shown flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Mahama, has taken a huge lead over the governing New Patriotic Party candidate, Vice President Dr. Mamudu Bawumia, in the race to be the next president of Ghana in January 2025. Now, with almost 11 months to the election, John Mahama leads in the poll with 53.2%, while Dr. Bawumia trails on 29.6%. Meanwhile, former Trade and Industry Minister Olayomi Chairman, who defected from the NPP to run as an independent candidate under the Movement of Change, had 7.7% support of voters. Now, while John Mahama's latest poll figure resulted in a significant rise from 48.3% he garnered in a similar conducted in 2023, Vice President Dr. Bawumia saw a marginal climb from 28% he recorded in the same period, with Olayomi Martin's 7.7% being significant, dropped in the 11.3% he was projected to get from the October poll. Now, additionally, nearly 4.2% of voters in the latest poll say they intend to vote for other candidates, a drop from 7% in the earlier poll, while 5.3% remain undecided on their chance or their choices for the 2024 elections. Among first-time voters, John Mahama leads with 51%, with DMB projected to get some 25% and AKK 8%. So DMB, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and Alan Kojoche Martin, that's AKK. 7% of first-time voters intend to vote for other candidates, while 9% are undecided. The latest poll also has Mr. Mahama now leading in all regions except the Northeast region, where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's advantage has now narrowed. According to a Global Info Analytics, although JDM's lead in the Ashanti and Eastern region could be an outlier in the polls, the MPP poor performance may reflect growing concerns about voter apathy in other regions. Former President John Mahama's 24-hour policy, according to polls, is the most popular amongst voters, when voters were asked about the 24-hour economy, blue economy, digitization, and great transformational plan, which of these slogans, policies has caught their attention? Approximately 50% said 24-hour economy, 25% said blue economy stroke digitization, and 8% said GTP, and 17% said none of them. This all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story, and then I'll bring the program to a close. Yesterday, I did talk about the Starr area and the fact that they don't have a parliamentarian representing them. Now, on the 21st December 2023, at the High Court, in the case brought against the Electoral Commission and Honorable Peter Amewu by Professor Margaret Kweku and other petitioners, the presiding judge, Justice Owuahene Champong, was to have delivered a ruling on a motion for judgment based on admissions made by the Electoral Commission. However, he indicated that as he was finalizing his ruling for delivery that day, certain papers had been filed in the court by a lawyer on behalf of the second respondent to the petition, Honorable Peter Amewu. Now, Justice Owuahene Champong indicated that the second respondent was asking for time to file his answer to the petition and was also asking for the arrest of the ruling schedule for that day. This application on behalf of the second respondent had been set for hearing on the 22nd January 2024. Mr. Benedict Kofiche, the lawyer who filed the papers on behalf of Honorable Peter Amewu, was in court. Counsel for the petitioners, Mr. Chachu Chikata, indicated that he had not been served with any of the papers. He would, however, not be opposed in principle to Honorable Peter Amewu being given the chance to file his answer to the petition, even though this was belated. Well, listeners, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Mr. Chikata stated that it was not necessary to wait until 22nd of January 2024 for this to happen, since there was no opposition to the application and the court could bring forward the hearing of the application and make the order of the belated filing of the answer. He emphasized that there was urgency about the situation of the Starr traditional area not having representation in the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic, even as the final year of the Parliament was approaching. As regards the application to arrest the ruling on the application for judgment based on admission made by the Electoral Commission, also Mr. Chikata suggested that an earlier date than the 22nd January 2024 should be fixed. The counsel for the first respondent, the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Sechi Buapong, indicated to the court that he had been served with the papers filed on behalf of Honorable Peter Amewu and stated that he would need time to file a response to the application for arrest of the filing of the ruling that was to have been delivered that day, but which could not be delivered in the view of the application. Well, I call that legal gymnastics, because they will do anything and everything to stop people from getting what they have to get. Our listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. This is the Thursday edition of the morning show. So stay tuned and don't ever think of touching the dial. One more story and then we call it a close. Now, lawyer and activist Oliver Barker-Vermawo has taken a swipe at the Ghanaian judiciary, listing its shortcomings. He is also concerned that aside the bureaucracy and the concentration of powers and abuse of same in some instances, the Supreme Court in particular continues to frustrate the deliveries of justice. In a social media post dated January 4, he cited the premise of how the U.S. Supreme Court had instituted measures to allow members of the public to sign up for notification of all court filings. Now, he noted that comparatively, in the Ghana Supreme Court, lawyers do not even know their cases which have been listed will not be heard that day till they have sat in the court for 5 hours. In fact, now sometimes even you don't even know whether and the day your case has to be scheduled. Now you even have to wait for the Chief Justice's pleasure to get a date. When she has traveled out of the country or gone for a agro meeting, you keep waiting for her. He wrote. Now, he sued for sweeping reforms at the Apex Court, insisting that the judiciary was more problematic than Ghana's economy. So that is very bad then. Now, in the court, he said, our judicial system is truly worse than our economy. Yet, they lack the humility to accept that the whole system is dysfunctional, corrupt, and in need of sweeping reforms. Out with the old, his post concluded. That means in with the new, right? Okay, so listeners, let me say thank you very much for tuning in once again to listen to us. But this is why I bring the program to a close for today. But do you think Ghana's judiciary system is worse than the economy of the country? Boy, if that is true, then I can tell you assuredly, hand on heart, that is there. And on that note, I say have a lovely day, and I see you all tomorrow, God willing, for the Friday edition, first Friday of the year 2024, where we bring you everything that you need to know. We might be lucky to have our money man there as well. But it's with me, your one and only Archie, saying have a top of the day, and until tomorrow, bye-bye for now.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medase.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business, but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Thanks for listening.